Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Clara. I'm a sales marketing manager here at Bcast, and today we're going to be diving into a specific activity our platform offers called the Canvas. I'll be walking you through this Bcast activity, and together we'll see the different ways you can bring visual collaboration to your team in order to get the most out of your meetings, training sessions, and workshops. I'm going to start by giving you an overview of the Canvas activity, and then we'll move on to some use cases that you can hopefully get some inspiration and ideas on how to use the Canvas for your future projects. Finally, I'm going to share with you some extra resources and show you the Canvas templates that exist today in Bcast. Now, the Canvas activity is simply a whiteboard activity that allows you to collaborate with your participants. Due to its extremely visual format, you're going to be able to brainstorm and interact on projects with your team in a really creative and efficient way. When it comes to what you can do on the Canvas, sky's the limit. The basic concept is that anything you can imagine, you can create thanks to a whiteboard format. You can create visual management spaces, also known as mind mapping, or put together brainstorming sessions, which are a great way to make sure to bring everyone's voice to the table in order to gather different ideas. Now, let's take a look at how to create a canvas. Like all activities in Bcast, you can simply add the canvas to your presentation by clicking on Add a Slide in the slideshow segment of your screen. A column will appear on the right side of your screen, giving you access to all of Bcast's activities. You can recognize the canvas thanks to the icon of an easel. Once you've clicked on the activity, all you have to do is give your whiteboard a title, save the activity, close the column. As you can see, you're now in front of a whiteboard. Of course, it's an empty space waiting to be filled. The activity is a bit different from Bcast when it comes to participant control. When you are leading the Bcast session, which is what we call facilitator control, you usually have a button at the top of the activity, which allows you to launch the activity for your participants. As long as you haven't launched it, your audience will not be able to participate. In the Canvas activity, you can see that there is no button. In fact, once you have created the canvas, anyone can participate because the activity is open and made available instantly. Another small difference is that this activity will not be available in the Activities tab in the left column of your Bcast workspace. Usually, all the activities launched by the facilitator can be found in this tab by the participants so that they can navigate the different open activities even when the facilitator has control of the presentation. But since the Canvas activity is already open to participants from the second it's created, it's not going to be there. This is simply because the goal of the Canvas is to have a valuable collaborative experience, so there's really no point in doing this activity on your own or at different times. You'll really want to be together for this. Now, let's take a closer look at the activity itself. On the right-hand side of the whiteboard, you have access to a small column filled with different tools. Think of this as your toolbox with everything you need to start adding things to your whiteboard. The first tool is simply the cursor, which allows you to select different elements. Then you have the drawing tool, which makes it possible for you to draw freely on the whiteboard. After that, you'll find the text element so that you can add instructions and any other type of written information. You can then add shapes, pictures, and post-it notes thanks to those last three elements. To make things easier, I'm going to show you these different tools throughout an activity. But right before doing this, I want to draw your attention to this final element in the bottom right corner of your activity. Here, you can see the hand, which makes it easier to move around the canvas. You can also zoom in or out in order to get a better overview of the canvas or dive into one particular space. And then finally, you have this little keyboard that is very useful once you've gotten the hang of the canvas. So this tool shares all the keyboard shortcuts that exist on the canvas. So once you've grown used to this activity, it may be useful to make some quick changes thanks to these shortcuts. Now that you know more about the Canvas in general, let's move on to the first activity. We're going to be looking at an icebreaker, which is a great way to start off a meeting or a workshop in a fun and easygoing manner. An icebreaker gives you a good idea of the current mindset of your team, but can also be used to get everybody talking and participating. A good icebreaker will help you set the right tone for the rest of your presentation. So how do we do this? Well, a powerful and easy icebreaker you can use is the blob tree. Here, your participants discover a scene with different characters in various situations. Prepare the question you want to ask your participants, like, how are you feeling today? Or how are you feeling about this project? Participants will then put their sticker on the character that best expresses how they're feeling. Let's create a blob tree now. So I'm simply clicking on the picture tool and adding a picture of a blob tree I found online, and then uploading it. Once the picture has appeared, I can make it bigger or smaller and position it where I want on the board. When you click on an element in your canvas, a lock will appear at the top of the object selected. By clicking on it, you can lock the picture in place. That way, your participants won't be able to move the element around and risk making a mess out of the canvas. I'm going to go ahead and lock the blob tree. After that, I'm going to create a space for the stickers. I'm doing this by adding a square, changing the size and color, and then adding small circles inside of it. A useful tip: you can copy-paste elements easily, so once you've created your first row of stickers, you can simply select all of them together and copy-paste the rows to go faster. Now, I also want to show you another type of shape that can be interesting, especially for a mind mapping exercise. I'm going to create a small triangle like this and select an arrow. Once I have selected the arrow shape, you can see that a shadow appears around the objects on the canvas where my cursor is. If I click here and slide my arrow across my triangle, another shadow will appear. I'm going to let go of the arrow, positioning it next to the triangle within the shadow. Now look at what happens when I decide to move my triangle. The arrow is moving with it while staying linked to my box as well. This is super helpful if you're looking to create visual management content. And there you have it, a quick and easy blob tree. Now let's move on to our next activity. This is a brainstorming session that I've already put together. You can see 5 lines that represent a star, and inside of it are 5 different categories. There are 2 parts to this activity. First, ask your participants to add their post-its. What should we keep doing? What should we start doing? Stop doing? Make better? Add. As you can see, participants can go ahead and add their ideas, creating notes easily and sliding them into the right category. Once you've finished organizing everyone's thoughts, you can now prioritize them by asking them to vote for their favorite idea. Participants can then use the stickers to vote for the ideas they like best, allowing you to collaborate and make decisions efficiently. When preparing your activity, it's better to color code in order for the stickers to match your participants. That way, you can also know who voted for what. Of course, if you wish for the votes to remain anonymous, it's best to make all the stickers one color. There are so many brainstorming opportunities with the canvas, so make sure you try them out and play around with the tool to really make the most out of your meeting and workshops. The last canvas activity I want to show you today is the matrix. This is a highly visual way to collectively build strategies and make decisions as a team. The matrix can help you decide and prioritize tasks by urgency and importance. The best part about the canvas is that you can lead activities in multiple steps, from the actual brainstorming session to the voting and decision-making part. Here, I can ask my team to add their ideas in the rectangle on the left. Once they've done this, organize the ideas in the matrix based on the elements you think are most important. I base my matrix on feasibility and impact. So by prioritizing and organizing these ideas, you're essentially developing an action plan with your team in a highly collaborative manner. And that's basically it for this activity. I'm now going to share with you some final resources and tips. Firstly, you can add Canvas templates easily by clicking on Add a Slide and then on Templates. As you can see, there are a lot of great ready-to-use templates you can launch in order to save time and benefit from famous management and ideation methods like the business model canvas or the lean canvas. We also have our very own blob trees you can use. All you have to do is click on Import and choose the blob tree that inspires you the most. I'm going to go ahead with my personal favorite, the beach. Once I've imported the template, 2 slides will be added to your session. The first one reminds you of the goal of the activity, as well as a link you can click on to learn more about how to use the blob tree. The second slide is your blob tree. So luckily for you, it looks a lot better than the one I managed to put together earlier. And on the left, your participants can just simply read the instructions and understand the process that they have to go through. All that's left for you to do is start collaborating by putting the sticker on the character that best describes your mood or feelings regarding the given topic. Finally, you're going to be able to import your canvas to other sessions. Now, this is great because it allows you to keep the activities you've created and insert them into new presentations without having to start again from scratch. So I could export my blob tree canvas into a new session and it would remain that blob tree. You won't have a blank canvas. Of course, just remember that in order to do this, you have to be the creator of the session and/or the facilitator. And that's the end of this video. I hope I was able to bring you more information regarding the canvas. It's truly a great tool for those looking to collaborate in a really creative and visual way. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to contact us. We'll be happy to help. See you next time.